How's it going, everybody? Really recently, within the last month, a media company on Facebook reached out to me and they were like, hey, we saw that you ate only bananas for a week in that video that you made last year, and we wanted to ask you some questions about it. So I went ahead and I answered all of their interview questions in a video, sent it off to them to use however they want, and I decided I'm going to share the answers with you guys too, just in case you were wondering, why did I eat only bananas for an entire week? Well, believe it or not, my decision was inspired by the fact that every year I like to eat a raw vegan diet for just a week or so. I've gone as much as 3 weeks, but it's something that I like to do every year just to sort of clean out my system. And when I decided to go on my raw week in 2019, but I had an audience at that time, I had I think 30 or 40,000 subscribers, I figured, well, let me do something fun and different. Let me go extreme with this and just eat one type of fruit for the entire week. I had heard of the Banana Island diet from Freely, who's a raw vegan advocate, but I had never tried it. I honestly didn't think it'd be very fun, but I thought, it might get some views, so I went ahead and did it. Only bananas for a week, but I did put cinnamon into my smoothies, and a lot of people called me out on that and said the cinnamon was something else besides banana. Honestly, I would say the biggest thing I learned from this is that our bodies are highly resilient. We seem to have some kind of metabolic reserve or nutrient reserve where when we go an entire week just eating one thing or a very limited amount of things, we are able to survive and thrive even if you're kind of deficient in a few nutrients. Because I went into this, I looked up the nutrition of bananas just to make sure I'd be safe, and it's pretty low in vitamin E, vitamin K, zinc, I want to say selenium, but there were at least 4 micronutrients that I just wouldn't be getting enough of, but I did it anyways, and I felt pretty much fine the entire time. Towards the end, I felt constantly hungry, but I think I was just tired of bananas, and also I was eating really low fat, so that could have been it too, but really, I was surprised at how our bodies are so resilient, and you really can survive on very little. And we see this with fasting too. A lot of people fast and they do fine. They can fast for up to a month and survive. So that was probably the most impressive thing that I learned out of this whole experiment. I went on the plant-based diet in 2011 after I saw this documentary called Forks Over Knives. And for those of you who haven't seen it, it's a great documentary. It's about these doctors who treat their patients with a plant-based diet, and they've reversed all these degenerative diseases, everything from heart disease to type 2 diabetes, cancer, multiple sclerosis. They've cured all these things, reversed the diseases with diet alone. So when I saw that documentary, I thought, wow, because I was having some health issues of my own, I was like, let me try this. And sure enough, all the problems I was having went away when I went plant-based. So that was 2011 that I adopted a plant-based diet, and I haven't looked back since. I've been eating either plant-based 100% or plant predominant for the last 9 years. And I have not eaten any red meat, any pork, any chicken, any turkey in these 9 years. I have eaten a little bit of fish when I'm on vacation and eggs. I still eat eggs occasionally. So I'm not vegan, but I'd say 99.5% of what I eat or more is plant-based. I honestly don't do a lot of these challenges. I did the banana challenge and I did 100 push-ups and 100 pull-ups a day for a month. But those were really the only 2 challenges I've done on my channel, and I should probably do more of them because they're a lot of fun and they tend to get a lot of views. So yeah, I should probably do more challenges. So the week that I was on bananas, it started off kind of rough for the first day or two because I think psychologically I was like, oh my god, I'm eating only bananas. But after a couple days I got used to it and I went on autopilot and I stopped caring. I thought, okay, well at the end of this week I can go back to eating all the other foods I like. So once I got over that initial hump of I'm only eating bananas, and mentally it freaked me out, it was pretty easy and I had tons of energy. I can't even explain, muscle-wise, strength-wise, it wasn't the greatest diet for that. but endurance-wise, it was insane. So if you're a long-distance runner or you do any kind of, bicycling or rowing or anything that requires muscular endurance, I would highly recommend not necessarily eating only bananas, but eating raw vegan, tons of fruit, because you have so much energy from all that carbohydrate. Aside from that, I felt really happy. My skin was kind of glowing. I felt like my skin looked better and more hydrated. I think part of that was the low sodium and high potassium. Those electrolytes tend to be switched in our diets. But near the very end, I'd say the last 1 or 2 days, I felt constantly hungry. And I do think part of that was I just wasn't eating enough fat. And as soon as I went back to eating normal foods, I remember eating a lot of peanut butter. I was just like craving fat. I could tell that fat was kind of missing from that diet. Would I recommend the banana-only diet to somebody? No, I would not recommend that because, like I mentioned, psychologically, this is not easy to do, the first couple days especially. But I would recommend doing a raw vegan cleanse. What that would mean is you're eating lots of fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. That's it. Those 4 things raw: fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. And do that for, aim for 5 days or 7 days. And eat plenty of dark leafy greens too. So I'd recommend raw vegan, a variety of fruits and vegetables. Try to get a lot of water-dense fruits, a little bit of nuts and seeds, but not bananas only. I just did this mainly for views and to have fun. And although it worked and I was fine, it's not something I'd recommend to people. Oh man, I could probably go on and on about the pros and cons of eating this way. One of the obvious downsides is that you're eating only bananas, right? So that just gets old after a while, and going into it is kind of hard. And there's other downsides, like you go to the grocery store and you see all these other foods, and even the foods in your own pantry, but you can't eat them. You just got to eat bananas. So that's pretty tough. And the pros, I would say, the biggest upsides to this is that, for one, it's so simple. The flip side of eating only bananas is that you don't even have to prepare your meals. You don't have to think about it. You just know that you're going to eat bananas. And also, you have tons of energy. Like I mentioned before, you feel like you can just run forever or cycle forever. So it's great for endurance athletes. Yeah, my approach to fitness and nutrition is definitely, I think, a lot different than the mainstream. I used to work out at the gym in my 20s, basically from like age 18 through 28 or 30, and I just got kind of tired of the gym culture, and then my first daughter was born, and when my daughter was born, all bets were off. I just couldn't get to the gym. I didn't have time. I had to be home. So that's when I started training body weight, and I really got into calisthenics, which is progressive body weight training, where you're using just your body weight, but in progressive ways to make it more and more challenging as you gain strength. And once I started training calisthenics, I had already found the plant-based diet back in 2011, and I noticed that the two go hand in hand, because when you eat only plants, you're getting enough protein, you're finding it easier to keep lean on just plants, it's heart healthy, it's great, and the two just really went together. So that's what my channel, Minus the Gym, is all about. I talk about eating plant-based and working out with your body weight so you can exercise anywhere you want to. And it's really a good approach because then you have no excuse, right? You can't say, well, I couldn't make it to the gym, because you can work out anywhere. All right, so there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. And something I realized is that I enjoyed making this Q&A style of video. It was actually a lot of fun. And I have a lot of trouble lately keeping up on all your questions in the comments. I get so many questions coming in from people watching my videos. I'm thinking what I might do is start grabbing some of the best questions and the recurring questions and answer those in like a Q&A series. Why not? So I'll give that a shot. Stay tuned. I'll do some Q&A videos regularly on the channel and see if you guys want to tune in and watch. All right, let me know what you think of that down in the comments, and I'll see you soon. Talk to you later.